Hi, this is Joanna, and I'm going to go over on how to create different patterns with different stencils and stamps in your journal today. So what we're using is I'm using craft paint, which is the less expensive paint, but it's real thin, which is really good for this to make texture with. I'm going to use this color. I'm using some of the white, the Liquitex Basics white. I'm going to be using some makeup sponges. We just made this stamp and the stencil, so we'll go ahead and try those out again. So taking the makeup sponge, I'm going to go ahead and sponge on some color on the stencil that we just made, the styrofoam stencil, and I'm going to show you what kind of pattern we can get. So we'll go ahead and do that, and then you just press down and you get a really nice pattern. The other thing that I was showing you is that we just made these stamps, so you can just put a little bit of paint on the eraser stamp you just made and go ahead and do that. The more you stamp it, the lighter it'll get, or you can also spray it with your sprayer if you want to get a different effect. The cardboard was kind of cool because you know, I wanted to try some paint on that to see what kind of thing we could get. So let's go ahead and try that. Be careful not to put too much paint, but you are getting a different mark. The other stencil I like to use are these kind of stencils. And you get the best effect when you do use a makeup sponge because it's real dense. And so it gets the paint exactly in the actual stencil. Sometimes I notice when you use a paintbrush, it doesn't quite catch it, so you can see how good that came out. This was one of those paper things that you can make designs in your paper through a press, but I wanted to try it and see if we couldn't get some kind of design on our journal by adding, you know, paint to it. I'll put a little bit of white on there too and see if we can't get some kind of a cool looking thing. So these are all different things that you can use to make marks in your journal. The other thing is that if we want to do another page, I'm just going to put some wax paper on that. It doesn't hurt the paint. The other thing I wanted to show you today was with a scraper. So because this is 90-pound paper in my sketchbook, you don't need to use gesso. I want to show you how we can do a background quickly with your scraper and some white paint to get that marbled effect. And then what we can do is, you know, you're going to have paint left over, so I like to maybe put it on another page for later. So there's that. Because acrylic paint, and the other thing I like to do too is when I'm doing that method, I go ahead and put a piece of cut, you know, wax paper there so it doesn't get on the next page. Because this paint dries really fast, you can go ahead and do other, you know, everything at the same time. So let's go ahead and do some of this stamping. I'm going to just mist this with some water and see if we can't get a little more action on that one. So we'll just put this down in the wet paint and see what we can get. The other thing that I like to do is do the bubble wrap, and so let's put some white paint on there with the makeup sponge and see if we can't get some, you know, some of this on here, which is probably really great. You can get a little bubble wrap on it. We did the sponge, and then let's go ahead and try the this one with the purple and the makeup sponge on top of that wet. So it all comes out really nice, and this just shows you what you can get when you're playing. The other thing is that I have these like other little tools. You can scrape designs in the paint, you know, put in other colors to get different effects. So it makes it real easy, and of course you're using your palette paper, which you can just pull off and throw away. So that's just a simple, quick tutorial to show you how you can make the different marks. And I hope you have fun trying some of these experiments and see what you can come up with. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.